Hey, good evening. I'd like to call the April 7th, 2025 Wall City Council meeting to order. If you would call roll, please, Carolyn.
Hoffman,
Here.
Morgan,
Here.
Stan Anderson,
Here.
Husted,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Hawk, Mike Anderson.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Very good. Let us stand and say the pledge of allegiance. Can you lead us, please, Mike?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any order of business for emergencies?
No,
Okay, is there attendance on Zoom?
Councilman Stan Anderson is on Zoom.
Right. Do we have a deputy here for Pennington County Sheriff report? Seeing none, there was a document in our packet that reports their calls and so forth. Perhaps with it being on a Monday, we maybe got off their schedule. So does anyone have any concerns that we need to address with them? Okay, seeing none. I would ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So. Second.
Mike has moved, Rick has seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any conflict of interest to declare this evening? Is anything on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none. Also in your packet was the March 17th, 2025 minutes. Would I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Zach has moved.
Second.
Jerry seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. The city claims were in your packet. The city claims this month consist of the city of Wall. Total amount of claims, $184,213.51. The fire department claims, $2,716.64. And library, $889.92. Does anyone see any items on those claims that they wanted to ask about or get more information about? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Rick is moved.
Second.
And Mike is seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. For your review was, which was also included, is the on-call schedule, the employee overtime and sick and vacation report. Also the water usage report. Sales tax that takes us through the month of March. As well as the BBB, which again, it's sums up, but some is up and some is down. It's still perplexing as you study those,
Still above last year, so that's good.
right? The expense budget report is included. That takes us year to date, as well as the monthly. Also approved is the banner permit for Dark Sky Week, which is April 21st through that week. And they are requesting that they put up the same banner that they used last year for the month of from April 21st to the 28th. So with that being approved, then they'll be bringing that to you, Garrett, and ask the Public Works to put that up like we did before. And also there's conditional use renewal for the greenhouse at the Wall Building Center. So that too is there for your review. So that moves us right into our visitors this evening from Pennington County Mitigation, or they're bringing us the mitigation plan. Well, ladies, would you please introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm Alexa White with Pennington County Emergency Management. I'm the Deputy Director there, and this is.
I'm Kaylee Snyder with the Black Hills Council of Local Governments.
And Dustin couldn't be here tonight. He's actually presenting to the city of Rapid City, the same thing that we're doing here tonight. So we came in his stead. But we are in the final approval and adoption process of the natural hazard mitigation plan that needs to be updated and renewed every 5 years. And so you've been part of this plan throughout, and now the state and FEMA have approved the plan. And so now we are coming to you to have you formally adopt this plan.
Yeah, so for those of you that just a little refresher of what this plan is. So this is a hazard mitigation plan, looks primarily at natural hazards. It identifies risks, vulnerabilities, and suggests mitigation actions, which are actions, what we can do before a hazard happens to lessen the impacts needed for response and recovery. And when we have these mitigation actions, in addition to this, we also have the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. Very similar type of documents. It was also included and added into this plan as part of that. So in essence, you're adopting kind of two plans, but they're all combined into it. So are there any questions I might be able to answer, or Alexa can answer?
Well, given the disasters that have been going on coast to coast, it makes you appreciate how very, very important a plan is to handle such situations. So Carolyn put a lot of work into getting this prepared, and I believe that this started in 2022. Is that when this?
Right, at the tail end of 2022, and we worked through 23, 24, and I will also say Carolyn has been great to work with, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then how long is this memorandum of agreement?
Or you mean for the adoption of the plan?
What
Once
would be
it's-
the length of it?
So the plan, once it's approved, so there's a couple of steps it goes through. So right now we have what's called APA status. This is approval pending adoption. So we have to go through and have adoption resolutions signed by all participating members. That would be the county and all of the cities. Once those are all been signed and it's been adopted by the members in the communities, we collect all those, we send those to FEMA, and then FEMA will officially approve the plan. Once we receive the approval, the plan is good for 5 years. The reason behind this is, one, to make sure that you keep things up to date, especially if you have new development. But it also allows you to be eligible for funding applications through FEMA and various other types of funding as well. So if your plan expires, you can't apply for some funding. So
Right.
if I keep those up.
So if we had a disaster, it would take FEMA financing or grant, this would help us.
It would
in
help,
that
yes,
process.
and there are certain funding apps that require that plan to be in place in order, not all, but some.
One unique thing about this plan too is that it's an online plan. It's the first one in South
Okay, I
Dakota
mentioned that.
that is like that Kaylee has put so much work and energy into. Dustin had the idea, he's seen it around the nation and wanted to try it here. And so what that makes it even more of a living document, so not a 3-ring binder, dusty shelf living.
Yeah.
You know, kind of document that anybody can go and look at. So right now there's a plan draft.
Yeah,
And then that will be updated with some final dates.
right. Once we have the final approval, the appropriate dates of adoption will be placed into the plan. The plan also, part of the intent behind that is to be more interactive. A lot of times we discuss locations and the maps on printed versions are very small and it's hard to see. So this allows you to actually understand your risk a little bit better.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on being a first. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And when I look at these agencies, it includes, as you said, the county, every one of the cities, the wildland fire, and then every volunteer fire department, including our own.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, very,
So you have two documents there that we'll need a signature on. So the main one, and I've got a copy here too, but you should have that, is this resolution page by you, Mayor.
yeah.
And then an additional signature on the CWPP. portion.
Okay, so does any of the council have any questions for these ladies regarding this document?
When will it be viewable online, or is it right now?
It currently is up online. It's technically the draft because we're just waiting for the adoption resolutions to be completed, but yes, it is online.
PincoMitigation.com.
Off the top of my head, I think so, yeah.
You can actually Google it right now, PincoMitigation.com,
Okay.
and it will say plan draft. And then you can click on it, so then you could go right in there and look at wall and
Yeah.
any, you know, surrounding areas if you want. Yeah, they're covered in the plan.
Okay, with that, being said then, would I be correct that the first thing we need to do is approve resolution 2506, which is, the Wall City Council declaring support and adoption of the Penney County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan.
So moved.
Okay, Zach has moved
Second.
and Jerry seconded. Any other questions or considerations? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And is there another?
And then the
Item.
CWPP portion of the plan, yeah, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, which is the second sheet that you have there that has all the jurisdiction. Yep,
Yeah.
and the fire chiefs and all of that on there.
Okay, so with that, I would ask for a motion to approve the Community Wildfire Protection Plan.
So.
Mike has moved
Second.
and Rick seconded. Any other questions or concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you, Carolyn, for.
So do you have a copy you want her to sign, or do you want me just
Um,
to scan them over to you?
Those are fine, I just had them with me in case you didn't have them, but yeah, those, she has, it's just fine.
Well, I kind
And
of
then
wrote
we'll
all
put all
over
the
this one. Have
signatures
you got a clean one?
Oh, would you wanna just
I
sign right there
write
and
on
take
stuff.
it? We can do that.
I don't know, do I have the one that I wrote for our resolution? Or-
Oh, the resolution one would be right here.
I have both of them, but I made changes to it.
Oh, okay.
The resolutions that mirrored our numbers.
Oh, okay.
You can.
Okay, you can just,
Sign
you
it
can
and then
scan and
scan
send
it.
it.
I think
That's
we
fine.
better, I'll
Okay,
put
yeah.
this to the side and get both of these done tonight and we'll get them to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Well, thank you.
Great.
Thank you so
all.
much. We gotta run to Quinn, but.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
we're all there.
Yeah.
No speeding.
Okay.
Okay, at this time then, that brings us to public comments, a time for any member of the public.
I have 13 before that.
Oh, 13, should we do 13? Did you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes before court.
Yes, that is.
want to.
I think yeah, excuse me, I jumped ahead there. So at this point, we do have an awesome opportunity to invite people to be a part of the wall team. And so at this time, Katie, would you please introduce the new Chamber Executive Director?
Yes, absolutely. So, Ally Webster, she is going to be the new director. And come on up here, you might as well get used to it. First day is today, and I have to kind of brag on her a little bit because I think Gina called her on Friday because our chamber meeting got rescheduled for this morning at 7. She asked, I don't even know if she got the full, according to Gina, she didn't get the full schedule or this full sentence out. She just said, hey, we got a chamber meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and Ally said, I'll be there. And then she said, oh yeah, and by the way, we also have a city council meeting at 6:30 at night, the same night. Would you like to come? And she's here. So she's been here since probably, well, she was here before I got here this morning, by 6:45. So pretty good first day, kind of been mean to her, but, pretty excited about it. So do you want her to do an introduction on
So
herself?
would you like to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Ally Webster, originally from Dallas, Texas. I've been in South Dakota for about 9 years. I currently live in Kadoka, South Dakota. I have 3 kids. My son is in the Air Force in Turkey currently. I have a senior at Kadoka and an 8th grader. And yeah, that's about it. Prior to this, I was the office manager for the rehab department in Phillip, so, yeah. Any
Well-
questions, sir?
We're,
Welcome.
yeah, welcome, and we're really glad to have you with us, so thank you. Garrett, would you like to make your introduction?
Sure. We got a new employee last week, the Public Works, Brandon Smith. Hey. Back there. Been here a week. Seems to be really good. We get along good, and he's likes to joke around a lot too, so he fits in perfectly with us, so. You got
Appreciate
anything
it.
else? Yeah.
I'm Brandon Smith, born and raised in South Dakota, moved to Wall recently. I just wanted to say all my previous jobs were profit-based, working for profit. This is maintaining and keeping Wall running smoothly. I kind of like that. So, yeah, Trevor and I today, we're doing some good things, so I like it. I'm used to it. I like it. It's tough but fair. That works for me.
Can I ask a question? Did you guys say you'll buy each other beers if we?
Well,
Jerry, I quit drinking 2.5 years ago, so.
for
Give
coffee.
me root beer.
Good for you there.
Hot chocolate is worked. Well, thank you
Well,
for
Yes,
joining
thanks
us.
for giving me the chance, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. Okay,
So at that time, we do need to approve the hire specific with their names and their wages for auditing purposes.
and that would be separate motions, correct?
You can say,
do
hourly
I-
at what wage and Brandon all in one motion if you like. You just have to have names and wages in there.
Okay, so do I have a motion then to approve the hire of the chamber director?
So moved.
Second.
At $24.50.
At 2650?
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to hire the chamber director at 2450. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the hire of the Public Works? Okay, Zach has moved.
Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith.
Yeah.
$23.50.
Or
23.50.
2350.
Got a couple bids back there from Brandon.
We haven't got a second
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Second.
Okay,
Thanks.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
You said this wasn't profit driven here. I think that's what you said.
not always about the money.
Okay, now.
Now that you do your.
Now we can do public comments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to express concerns or issues not on the agenda. It'd be a 3-minute limit to address those concerns. Do I have anyone this evening that would like to visit with them? Rashawn?
Every time I forget to put this on my list, and so I'm bringing it as just a member of the public, because I know we're coming into tourist season, and Glen Street is gonna come up again, and every time I drive down it, I think of ways to help keep people slowing down, and I just wanted to throw out there, if we ever thought about speed bumps?
Oh, yeah.
Cause I know it's coming again, so I thought I'd head it off. That was my only comment.
Okay.
I'll fill you in tomorrow.
Okay.
Better than that.
Just ask all the locals on Drive 15 down there, that way it'll slow them all down.
I do.
And I did get contacted about that as well from a member of the public about their speeding again. I wanted to know something about rumble strips or something to help.
We can put those right in front of his house so he can listen to them.
Yeah,
So Garrett mentioned that there's already a speed bump there as you come in off exit 109. There's just a small dip before Airport Road, right?
Yeah,
So there you go. You've got
and they
your
complain
speed
about
bump.
that. And then the dipping by the Best Western too. And they dip there and they want to bump, I guess maybe they want to bump instead of the dip.
yeah. They said rumble strips this time. To track those down, so.
On the other hand, I got a really nice compliment from a community member about, they just returned from Rapid, yesterday, and they just thought that the street was so beautiful and the sidewalks on both sides, and yeah, they were, and what a difference it was from having a big pothole in the middle like we had before, and so there's those that appreciate that. And our deputies, I've spoke to them, and I see, if you go back and you look at how many stops they've made, you know, they are trying to address that, so.
I seen them radar on Glen the other day, sitting there.
It's just so hard coming off of the highway, you know, there's up to 240 coming into town.
Zach, question for you. I don't know if we can even do it, but do you think if we put more crosswalks on that street, it might help?
Like, yeah, I could put like across from auto livery to Common Sense is what you're thinking, because there's that one there by Welsh and BJ's. Right, it's a good paint job on it though. But, and signage,
Just a thought.
yeah,
It'd be less noisy than rumble strips.
yeah, no, definitely.
I'd like to add too, that the locals that complain about people speeding or not stopping at the stop sign, don't use the crosswalks. Look at the cars and then they run across the street. But.
Do you think it'd slow traffic down?
Maybe a little.
So not that effective.
Yeah, because I think, man, we got blinking lights.
Yeah, we got
Can't even get people to stop.
orange flags,
There's 2 flashing speed limit signs.
that's
And a
right.
huge flashing stop sign.
Pretty good.
We have all the signage up that we can for.
Legally.
Well, they could probably do more, but we got to help, you know, it's hard.
The more
Because
signs you get, the less they pay attention.
Exactly, yeah, it draws them away from them too, because if you have them up everywhere.
That company a week ago, I said, good God, what's the matter with this town? Top speeds 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We're not a big city, so.
Well, and I think, you know, I mean, as long as we're in good communication with the sheriff's department and they're, you know, running radar on it and patrolling it, you know, I mean, that's, and we got all of the signage. You know, unfortunately, you kind of hate to issue citations, but at the same point, you know, if somebody's doing 35 and a 20, I feel like that's kind of maybe not a slip and not paying attention. It's a pretty serious consequence if somebody's crossing that 4-way down there. And so, you know, maybe we need to talk to them too about maybe citations.
And we had that, there was rumble strips in front of, who lives there now? Randy Walker used to live there where the big pine trees are.
Bowens on that.
Yeah, and they still, people, still run stop sign and speed. You can hear them driving over that, and, cause I remember I lived in Greater Court, and you can hear it just all day long when the sometimes.
And they got a bunch of hubcaps off of that too, because it's smack.
Well, and
But if you guys want me to rumble strips or speed bumps,
The
I'll.
whole way.
Just every 5 feet. Speed bump.
Do they have,
I could do something with the blade.
do they have anything that would be portable that you can pick up, so we can remove snow in the winter time?
Well, I think we investigated that. and it's
Yeah.
Pretty spendy.
It's expensive, but you just have to, drill holes and put, they're like Tapcon screws down. And
Good place for a pothole to start then.
yeah,
They make-
once
I
it
just-
freezes, then
Yeah.
I just looked too, they do have some rumble strips, but you have to epoxy them down.
On the flip side, I had someone riding with me and I dropped to the 20 when I was coming in off exit of 109 and they said, seriously, 20 miles per hour? They thought it was ridiculously slow, so you can't keep everyone happy. I just don't know how we do that.
I think those speed signs really help.
Absolutely, they have, so.
Well, respond to them that 20 is not slow enough when you have kids that just start across the street. We have a lot of kids in this town, from tourists and locals.
Absolutely.
Use crosswalk.
So, okay.
Can we give them means for not using a crosswalk?
I'll let you hand those tickets out, Jerry, you're retired.
You volunteered?
And you have to remember, we have a lot of guests in town that come and leave and the people that, and then when we start arresting or warning our own citizens, there's gonna be a lot of disgruntled people about that too, so. So, okay, moving on to number 15, we have a closeout, change order here in front of us here. Garrett, would you confirm that you did, follow up and check, the IP station, lift station out after all these items were addressed?
Which one are you looking at?
15.
They sent,
KLJ,
so that was a deduction. They sent a letter, let's see, included that.
Oh, this one?
because I believe they hired a company to come in and make sure that debris out of those lines were.
Yep, they did. I was out there, they did, I investigated where we were getting some, I&I, and they found that a pipe had broke, so they repaired that. And then I did see, A1 septic out there all day long one day, so, and I know they do a good job.
Okay. So with that,
So, yep, all that's done.
okay. So it meets your satisfaction is what I.
Yep.
Saying, okay. So, one of the documents that is enclosed here is the, that indicates that what the contract price was and then that it was dropped. But then when you go to your next, document there, it's, pay order for number 5 for the amount of $58,420.61. So I would need a motion to approve that pay request.
There's actually 2 pay requests.
Right, do you want to do them both at one time?
No, but I do need a separate motion for the change order. As I have them lined out here, I need separate motions for all.
So that's CO1,
That's what should be the other one, yep.
okay, where they decrease the price there.
I'll make it more.
Okay, Mike has moved. First, and we're dealing with CO1, which was the decrease that I mentioned,
Second.
and Zach has seconded. All those in favor say aye.
I have a question, sorry.
Okay.
I
No,
wanna know what the decrease went out, just out of curiosity. I can't find it, it's on a big document.
so it started out to be this, and then they dropped it to this amount. They decreased that. And so that's what she wants approval for at this point.
And-
And
and we-
ALPA is just a change in material, it's not really spelled out in that, why they deducted it, it's a change in.
But we're
material.
satisfied with it.
Is we're approving this particular part of it, but then we're gonna come back and we need to approve a change order amount for 58,000 because
Pay
that's,
request for 58, and then a pay request for 20,000.
and then the second one is here on this document.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so I believe Mike moved and Zach seconded to approve the change in contract price. And that amount was $63,612.50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Then that moves us to the pay request number 4. And that pay request number 4 is $20,501.62. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Rick has moved,
Second.
Jerry seconded. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And then that brings us to pay request number 5. That amount is $58,420.61. Do I have a motion?
So.
Mike has moved
Second.
and Zach seconded. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and then we have the last document, which is the final review and acceptance. And that requires, that's indicating that this project was completed and constructed as indicated. Do I have a motion to approve the final review and acceptance?
So.
Zach moved
Second.
and Mike is seconded. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. That brings us to, the permits. We have a conditional use permit that's been requested by Fly Badlands. And that is to place, a removable ground height trailer, an 8x20, to use from April to October. And it would be placed in the parking lot at the airport. And this is for a new business that is coming to town. Rashawn, do you want to update some of us on the Fly Badlands business? Have we had an opportunity to talk to the council recently about that?
Yeah, Anna is, on track and ready to go. and she's just wanting to put this temporary space out there, so that she can run an office out of it until, she can get her permanent office, which, it should be in one of the new construction condominiums that's going into Lot 4, the industrial park.
So what does this business do?
This business is, a scenic flight tour over the Badlands, well, not over, you can't fly over it, but around the Badlands. And she's got all of her ducks in a row and got her FAA approval. And she's, ready to go. She just needs an office and some support. So,
And it's a plane, not a helicopter.
nope, it's a plane. Yep.
Okay. And she can
take
carry about
3 people.
okay, 3
Herself
people.
and 3 people. So there won't be a lot of cars out there either when they do come to do her scenic tours.
So, would I have a motion then to, first of all, approve the conditional use permit for, this temporary, office that she's locating in the parking space by the Pilot's Lounge in the airport. Pretty much where Western Construction had their unit when they were doing the construction on the airport.
So move.
Zach has moved.
Second.
And Rick seconded. Any other questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. The second part of that then is a sign permit. It's gonna be a 4x6. And it's gonna look like this, right, Rosa?
Yeah.
And this is what the sign will look like.
And I think she's got 3 locations indicated on there,
Oh, yeah. Get to that sheet again.
at least 2 I know.
By the road on our building.
Here, right here in front of me, but,
And maybe it was in the email.
okay.
That I didn't.
Yeah,
So
I
there
believe
will-
it's on the entrance to the airport road, off Airport Road, and then one on our building. I didn't know about a third, but
I guess I was thinking maybe in that one she mentioned about putting it as you turn off of 4th Avenue, kind of directing people from 4th Avenue that direction first. And then one to turn into off Airport Road into the parking lot, and then one on her building, is what I thought she was talking about.
Will the one on the road be double-sided so we can see it from both ways then, or?
I didn't get an indication of that, no.
And will it be inside the airport fence or is it gonna be in the? Mhm.
I will have to look at that.
Maybe we better put this on hold.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have some clarification.
Yeah, because I just don't see it on this permit. I'm trying to scan it.
It isn't there.
So let's table this. Would you like to move to table it until the next meeting?
I would.
Okay,
You don't need a motion.
you know, I can just say we're gonna table this?
Yep.
Okay?
I take back my motion.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
I was gonna find it,
On the permit, it says single sided.
Where it says single or doubled, it's got single there.
Yeah.
Oh, good catch.
But yeah, I just don't
Doesn't have
see where it
to be.
says on here where they're gonna locate it, and I think Garrett needs to explore that for us.
okay, so she said, I'd like to have one on the front of my office and 1 or 2 out by the road, one at the entrance to pull into the proper spot at the airport, as it looks like there's a few areas and we don't need people pulling into old taxiways. And if possible, one out by the main road for visibility on 4th Avenue there. That one would add an arrow pointing into Airport Road depending on where it is placed. When these two are decided where they're placed, we can see if we need to get a wooden post made or something.
The one on Fourth Avenue would be on the airport side then? Or-
You can stipulate however you want. She's at your mercy, so.
Cause I didn't know if you'd have to talk to the church or something with it
Right,
being there, like if it was on the other side. Or if it was over on Golden West side or.
It'd be nice to know where it is in relation to the
Well, I
airport
think-
sign.
I think you just tell her where you're gonna. go
right,
for
so
the
I
thing.
think we need,
Yeah,
let's
Good.
let Garrett figure that out for us before we approve that.
And maybe mention a double-sided one, like if we do put one up by Fourth Avenue, so both ways the traffic can see it when they're coming. Or,
I'm guessing your best bet would be to put it on the airport's
Mhm.
road,
So,
because
I mean,
otherwise
like,
you're
I
gonna have to
think
get
it's-
permission from these other people. That's city land, otherwise you
Right.
can allow that.
yeah,
Ever, so, I guess to me, I would tell her that's where you want it. She's kind of running out of time, I think, of getting this, and I think it only makes sense to keep it on the city property. And same way with pulling off the airport, that's also city land, that it'd be right there. To pull off of the airport road.
Okay, our next meeting is like 10 days away. And she can get her signs made, but let's give her some good direction where we have Garrett.
So on the airport side, probably a two-sided sign with an arrow pointing the direction. Then she wants one turning off of Airport Road onto the wherever her building's at, and then one on the building, correct? So I would just give her that direction and she can start with her signs, as long as she knows she probably has a double-sided sign
That's kind
on
of
the airport side.
I guess if you want to ever give me a call or I can call her.
She's been emailing, so,
She has been.
no, I copied you on.
So do we want
Well, then I'll email
to? So Mike, are you wanting to make that a motion, or are you gonna
Sure.
ask Garrett to just explore this, get back to us at the April 17th?
Yeah, I would say if she doesn't like those locations, then she would probably need to come back and see us at the next meeting, but otherwise she can get rolling on that stuff, and then you can just update us with what you think at the next meeting. How she felt about that.
Having spoken with Anna, she's pretty easygoing, and I think wherever you tell her this is a good place for the sign, she'll be fine with it. She just wants people to know where to go.
Yep.
So, but I think double-sided she does, and I can tell her that, Garrett.
Okay, so Mike has moved that we approve the sign permit.
second,
Zach
Three,
is second.
three locations of the sign permit, right?
Building, Airport Road, and then Ford on the airport property, correct?
On her building.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve 3 locations for the sign permit. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Hi,
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, that brings us to the superintendent report. Miss Sally.
Oh, listening to you guys talk about your speed issues makes me think you're working at a school, because they don't listen no matter how many different ways you set it up. No, things at school are good, always good. We just, got through prom and they did not drown me at Waikiki, another great event, and it's always fun to be a part of the kids. We are testing right now, state assessment testing is taking place right now. So we're doing that with our middle school, high, and our juniors. Elementary will take place in a couple weeks, right after Easter. A couple other things coming up. We have our K-12 music concert, Let's Rock. It's April 14th, 6 o'clock. We will be having an awards night for our spring awards. It's the week of graduation in May, I believe. The Tuesday night, I want to say the 15th. No, it's a Tuesday night, but what I'm wanting to tell you is we're also going to have a supper in the shop, in the new shop area. Mr. Stroshine's wanting to have a supper, so we're working that together, and he's probably maybe gonna have some items that the kids have been making and maybe a silent auction with some of those. I just saw a trailer go out of there the other day that a kid had put taken out an old wood floor and welded in a metal floor, and it came to my home. A chicken coop went out of there that a student had built for somebody else. Today I watched, and I'm gonna put some on Facebook, one of our students who, this was just super good for him. He designed a sign that when you pull into the school, he designed it and they cut it out with a CNC table. I was watching today that big table work. It says, like gym one direction with arrows and the opposite direction in the CTE building, and the student who can't even attend all of our regular classes designed this, and it was it's really good. It was so good to see that. Graduation again is coming up on the 17th. I think I told you last time, our speaker this year is Dusty Johnson. We are looking for a middle school science teacher. If you know of anyone who's got any kind of a degree, whether they're in industry or want to be a teacher, I will make them a teacher, middle school science. We're also looking for bus drivers. And we will even help fund a little bit of a CDL if, for the right people. So we're trying to find some bus drivers. I'm going to ask you, and I don't think I've heard about it or read about it yet. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right things. Last year we helped with some cleanup. Do you guys have a week, or is it always the same time? That was right after I took over superintendent, so I kind of forget. Was it the first week of May?
It's, the wall cleanup day, 7 a.m., the 3rd. And it seems like the school is always ahead of us.
We are, because we're on top of it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, usually, I think it's like the week before.
Huh?
Usually the kids do it the week before.
Week before, and last year I designed a big K-12, and it was so successful because I kicked out awards for the coolest piece of junk that you could find, and we hooked high schoolers with little kids, and it was a wonderful day. And so we want to do it again. So we will have something done before May 3rd, because you'll do May 3rd then, and I will kind of send you a map of the area that we'll clean. Last year, I know I planned more time than it took, and so we needed to do something with those kids. We had them corralled, but I'll send you something.
Okay, that sounds good.
Let me know, and then we'll pick up, just leave the bags by the street.
Yeah.
Pick those up.
Yeah, that was great. Something else, just a couple other things. This year, we will have, we'll kick it out on Facebook. Teacher of the Year, so if anybody wants to nominate, there will be a nomination form, a Teacher of the Year, and I'm also putting in place this year Support Staff of the Year. So those are two different pieces. Support staff would be a paraprofessional, a cook, one of our cook aides, our dishwasher, custodian, just those people that we can't do business without. So we've got a lot of good people up there that we're working with. One thing we are experiencing is probably the first, I'm not going to say of the cuts at the federal level, but, or the changes at the federal level, but I did get a note from Department of Ed in South Dakota the other day that some funding got cut immediately, and it's taking away 2 trainings. One that I went to last year, it's a wonderful training, but we kind of play with that one year by year. They never know if there's extra money. for social studies. And then, some funding that we use for mentoring, teacher mentoring program at the state level, and we participate as 2 teachers, new teachers in that. I'm not afraid of any of these cuts because we'll just take over and do ourselves whatever we don't have, but that was a good program. So we are seeing just a few of those things. Again, I just tell everybody, I'm not concerned one bit, because when you have good leadership at the local level, the stuff that's going on up above doesn't scare me at all. But anyway, that's us up on the hill, or I feel like I'm up on the hill. Thank you for the support your city provides our school, which is so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the silent option, is that?
Well,
Shut up.
if we get this all pulled together, it's gonna be the week before graduation.
Okay.
Details to be determined, and please don't advertise it too big.
All right.
Okay, ambulance report. So Lily, you started at a 7 o'clock meeting this morning
Yes.
too.
I've had a long day too. I know how it feels. Very short report, we had 14 calls in last month for March, and only 4 transports out of these 14 calls. Another one is April 28th as a deadline to sign up for the EMT class that's gonna happen this summer. Just a reminder, there is no cost to the EMT class, it's free, sponsored by the state. We didn't get funding cut on this one, so.
Is there a limit to how many people you
Yeah,
take?
we targeting 10 people.
10 people.
Is there an age limit?
Yeah, you have to be 18. Yeah. I think that one's in there. Good. So,
How many spots do you have open, or?
well, we have a meeting tomorrow night, so probably gonna find out more from our director. I have no idea right now how many people we have signed up by now, but, I just know there's a deadline, April 28th. So I know we had interest from New Underwood, and we will take those people if we don't have enough, local people for the class, so, yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lily.
Okay, chamber director report, please.
I'll do this. Just kidding. Your community center report should be in your packet. It would have been for everything that we had in March, and then everything that we've got scheduled for April. We've got finished up with all the wrestling going on in there and got all that stuff put away and got done with that, and so just kind of back to normal business going on in there now. Is there any questions on anything in the report? No, okay, other thing that I've got is just kind of a quick pool update. Don't have much on that yet, other than I have, I did reach out to our lifeguards from last year, and, most of them said that they would be probably interested in coming back for this year. So kind of got some coming back, and I did, speak with Dr. Krauser about, in case we need some new ones, they're gonna announce it at the school, and see if maybe we need a couple more, just, we've got a pretty good list. I think, I can't remember how many is on the list. I think there's maybe 8. I didn't count them, but, they do have a pretty full schedule with sports practices and things. So it seems like we need more than I think what we have in the past to fill up those hours. So hopefully, hopefully we can keep things going like we did last year. So,
So will you be offering swimming lessons again?
that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
And Ava, even though we thought that, we just keep holding on to Ava as long as we can, because she has been so great at managing the pool for us. And I thought that last year was probably gonna be her last year, but she's gonna be able to come back, for a good portion of the summer. It sounds like she will hopefully be able to stay until, the end of July. And since we usually close like, mid-August, it seems like. It'll get us through almost all the way. She said she'd do the schedule for us throughout, till the end of the season. So I'm super excited about that, because she's pretty great up there, so, she's getting us through another year. Yeah, other than that, I know I'll probably need to get Garrett here pretty soon and figure out what else we need to do up there. Garrett's really excited about that too.
On this list of things to do.
Yeah, a long list. Other than that, for the chamber, we've just, gonna be working with Ally and getting her up to speed on everything in there, and, just getting the annual meeting planned, which is April 16th, which is Wednesday evening, and, it'll be food at 5:30, and instead of just, we've done the heavy appetizers in the past, we're doing a full meal this year, which we're super excited about, by the way, because the way Bacon's doing the food, so that's gonna be awesome. So food at 5:30 with the meeting at 6, and, you guys are all invited. You should have gotten invitations, but if you didn't, just know that you were supposed to. So please come. And, yeah, I think that's all I got. So.
The egg thing turned out good. I heard the Easter egg hunt.
Oh, I wasn't there, but I saw pictures, and it sounds like they were saying that there was about as many people as there's been for quite a few years, probably a lot due to the gorgeous weather we had yesterday. But yeah, it sounds like it was a great day for an Easter egg hunt, and, from the receipts I got, it looked like they had some pretty cool prizes, some scooters and some neat things. So yeah, I'm glad that the Shriners put that on, and I'm sure glad that they keep doing it, because I know the kids really enjoy it, so. All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, item number, good night. Item number 20 is, the apartment lease agreement. We did decide on what the rent would be, but we also had, the attorney work through or prepare a lease agreement for us, so that if we do decide or have someone that wants to rent that this would be the agreement that we would follow. Do you have any questions or thoughts? Or can I ask for an approval of that agreement so we could proceed? It was so needed.
Move to approve.
Okay, Rick has moved
Second.
and Mike seconded. Any other comments? If I'm correct, Garrett, all of the appliances are in place and everything's working and ready to go? Okay.
Just need to do a little cleaning before somebody moves in, but.
Okay. So with any other comments or questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, item number 21. We had advertised a resolution of intent for planting the farm ground, but there was a change in the plan, and so we just need to note this in minutes.
So
Or
that
to-
people, because it was published that we would address that at this meeting. And so just as a trail that no actions decided to be taken with it. So
Okay, according to what the resolution of intent was, there was no action taken, so we can note that in our minutes. But Stan, have you got an update for us, on,
Yes,
okay,
and I think I have somebody's lined up that will spray it out. We'll do a burn down on it, and lost my picture some way. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yep.
Okay, I can't see anything. Well, Ryan Kerstead is going to spray it and do the burn down on it, and then we have Scott Eisenbrown is going to plant it to alfalfa for us. We haven't worked out all of the fine details, and I've kind of filled Mary in on it, so hopefully within the next few days, we'll have that figured out so that it will get planted this year.
Okay. All right. Will you just, keep us informed on that then as
Yes,
if you get
yeah, and I
things-
will, that sounds good with everybody. I will just kind of work with Mary and, if that's agreeable with everybody, and keep her informed, and Carolyn.
Do we have your consensus then?
That sounds good.
Okay. And And that is the farm ground that we're talking about in that case, but item 22, we also have, we advertised for the industrial park hay, and we need to have that bid opening, but just as a piece of information, I had Carolyn put together for our thoughts. The industrial park, in 2021, we spent $9,880 to plant that to alfalfa and oats. That was in 2021. Since that time, in the years of 21, 22, 23, and 24, we have generated $54,587 in revenue. So that means that we have generated $44,707 of profit on that hay ground. And so that's why it's so important that what we get going then on this other ground is actually a revenue generator, and that's a good thing. So with that being said then.
Carolyn, Mary, what was that number? How much did it cost back in 2021 to plant it?
$9,880, but that was on 180, what's the acres?
158 acres or something like that.
Yeah, 158, exactly. And we paid $9,880, and that covered the application and the seed. The planting, the machinery to plant it, and the seed, $988. Okay, so it's nice when you can turn some dollars. Okay, so with that then, I think we need to do the bid opening as indicated on item number 22 on the agenda.
We see two bids. The first one that I'm opening is Amanda Frink, bids $15,026. And the second bid is Tracy Trask, he bids $4,040.
Okay, so the first one was 15,026. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so would you agree that the hay bid goes to Amanda Frink for the amount of $15,026? Okay.
You need a motion to award that
Motion
bid.
to approve the Frank.
I'm gonna abstain on both.
Second.
Okay, so Jerry has moved and Mike has seconded. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Rick is at, oh,
One cutting.
That is what.
One cutting.
Says, yeah.
Is that
Typically-
specified on that bid?
No, but that's our agreement.
How it was
That's our
written?
agreement.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
In past, we have offered it back to the two bidders, or however many we've received. We reach out to them because we usually don't know unless we get enough rain in order to get it published and stuff. So reach back out to them to ask if they want to submit another bid for second cutting.
For second cutting. Let's hope that happens. Okay, so it's been moved by Jerry, seconded by Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, then we also have, usually we do the airport, but in this case, we agreed with Preston for him to take care of inside of the airport. But we also have the Morningside property, which is out by the track range. Do you happen to know how many acres that is? I failed to look that up.
I do not.
Okay, so anyway, we'll have that in our bid, but would I have a motion to approve to advertise the Morningside property for a hay bid?
So move.
Okay, Zach has moved
Second.
and Jerry seconded. Any other questions? And would we make that, when would you like that bid to be opened, Carolyn? What would be your suggestion? Would it be the May meeting?
Is that gonna be enough time for you? The May 1st meeting?
Well, I tell you what, it'd be good because it'd give them a better idea of the amount they might have to harvest.
Otherwise, the second meeting in May is the 15th. I just don't know if they would cut it before, or
Oh, no, they would not try to cut it before then. In
So
my
we want
opinion.
I can get it in the paper like this week, and so it would show for 2 weeks before the actual opening date. It would. We usually
Our
advertise
first May meeting is,
May 1st.
okay, so that work?
I don't know enough about it, if that's enough time for people to be able to submit a bid, I guess, I would. rely on you
But
guys.
advertise wise, it works out.
Yes,
Okay. So. Do I have a motion then to approve the advertising Morningside property with the bid opening on May 1?
Zach did, and then
And
Jerry
Zach
seconded.
did, and Jerry seconded?
Yeah.
And so now we just need to add the May 1 part of it. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, Carolyn, that brings us then to your part.
Well, first of all, I really appreciate you guys allowing me the time to attend the district meetings that I did and out of the office so much like I was. They were held in Redfield, Miller, Akaska, Burke, Del Rapids, and Watertown for the first 2 weeks, and we had prime rib at every meal. We were kind of getting a little tired of prime rib. But we voted, and Akaska did the best prime rib, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Akaska. Anybody hear of Akaska? It's a fishing area, right? Yep. So it's a small population, but they did an awesome job. Then we went to Madison, Deadwood, Custer, and Fort Pierre for the last week, and they gave us options for meals at that. So it was really, we had good turnouts, at all the districts, and which kind of helped me determine what towns are in which districts, and so I really learned a lot by doing that. The legislative updates that were given by Sarah at these meetings, that passed that affect cities. So cities that have parks, lands in park. Some cities, I guess Brookings was the one that brought this bill. They feel they have too many parks and they would like to downsize. But there's legislation that only allows you to keep it in parks until this new happened. And now you can repurpose them as long as they're city, like you could build a shop on it or whatever. They still have to be owned by the city, but you're allowed to do other things with it if you so wish by ordinance, you can do that.
Who did you say had too many parks?
Brookings.
Brookings?
That was who brought the bill anyway, so.
But that won't work in our case, right?
No, I don't think we have very many parks that we would want to give them on.
Well, not only that, but our park is specified, right?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That, there was a swap in that, so we have to keep it a park, but. Open meeting laws, there, I don't know if you followed, there was several, in fact, Commissioner Gary Drews said that Pennington County got brought up on open meeting, violation. Somebody claimed that they, had a meeting that was not, advertised and should have been an open meeting that they had evidently an executive session, but, so there was a bill that came through that annually now we need to review the open meeting law, and it has to be published in the minutes that you guys read. So I'm probably gonna try to get that on the agenda of our May meeting, since that's an annual meeting that we do those things. So just know that that's why you're gonna be starting to look at that now.
And we have to go through the whole,
I have to provide you with the brochure of it, and then you just have to make the motion in the meeting that it was reviewed and on an annual basis.
so we actually have to review it during the meeting.
Well, not during the meeting, you just have to say,
Say that you reviewed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
just like anything, I mean,
Probably a good idea to review it though.
yeah, that's on you guys if you don't, I guess.
Yeah.
Another thing that passed that I'm not really enthused about, and I don't think many of us are, but elections can only be held in June and November now. The April election date is gone. So, the purpose of that is to combine with the counties when they have the primary and the general, because they feel like the outcome, the attendance for elections, this would improve that. I don't think it will, but we'll see. We have to give it a couple of years before we can bring legislation back to try and change it. So, and then there's a policy, I don't know, I can't explain it completely, but I know there was a bunch of talk about putting our librarians in jail if they did not follow the policy on appropriate books and all that for age appropriate, which that got a lot of miles on that, but what they came up with is that the libraries now have to either publish annually in the paper. This policy, they're gonna have to put a policy in place, publish it annually in the paper, or they can agree to place it on the website, which we would do for them. So I don't know which avenue I need to reach out to the library board and see if they did follow this. They now used to be, there was only 2 off-sale liquor licenses for a population, unless you got over 1,000 people, then you would issue an additional off-sale liquor license. Well, now they're gonna allow 3 to populations under 1,000. I don't know that benefits us, and I guess we'll see, but that's up to you guys if you want to allow that, but we can. Then there was a lot of talk about bathrooms being marked gender appropriate. And I didn't really understand how this, but when we were in Madison, every bathroom we went to was like a family type bathroom. Like we have. They didn't have men's and women's bathrooms separate. They were all family, identified as family bathroom. That does not fly if you're having a school sanctioned event in your building. If you're a city building, it has to be identified that you have a male and female. You can still have the family bathroom, but you have to identify it as male and female. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that because we don't have school sanctioned events here, but just something to.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
But we're okay anyway.
Oh, yeah, we're okay.
Do we have 3?
Yes.
We do.
So
we have
a
2
male and
there.
female and a family.
Yeah.
So, you know, the school has also a family bathroom, and then they're marked as male and female, but all this talk about it, and then when we went to Madison for that district meeting, and it was actually hosted on that college campus. But I'm like, I mean, it's fine, you knew you could just go use the bathroom, but they said they're gonna have to change that and identify at least 1 or 2 of them as being a male and female bathrooms. I don't know, they said that it was quite a weird legislation this year, so. And then also wanted to tell you that at our district meeting, which was held in Custer, I visited with Mary, and it's been quite some time since Wall has hosted the district meeting, so I volunteered to host in 2026. Just so you know, coming up. And I think that was all I had on my list of things. Let's sleep here. Yes, that's the end of my report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Carolyn? Okay, Public Works.
You guys remember a while back, we had to take a picture of your meter. Cause we're trying to get inventory of everybody's service line that's has lead in it or anything. We got a letter the other day that said we were good, everything's done, and then we just got one today that there's a few that I need to go visually inspect, but we sat through a kind of a meeting the other day and it sounds like we're one of the few that were pretty much all done with ours, and you know, so it was kind of a big ordeal. We don't have any lead in town, so
No,
cool. So, and then kind of been working on the desk over there, banging our head against the wall, trying to figure out.
So he's talking about this table, because remember, we were gonna get it updated.
So we kind of looked at changing the angle, and so the tables line up, and we thought maybe we change the angle and make it big enough for all of you guys to sit at the table, and then we still have room for tables over here. So we're just waiting for a price quote for the tabletop, and then we've kind of talked about what we want to do for the front. And oh yeah, we hired a guy that's gonna do it.
The guy that we originally talked to that was gonna, we actually hired him.
So yeah, I think, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I thought it would be neat to have all you guys in, you know, one spot, because some people come here and like, why are those two over there? And
they're in a
these guys are all
timeout.
here. So,
Garrett recalled that it used to be that way. You used to all sit at this table.
Yes.
I mean, before the remodel.
Yeah.
Over there.
mhm.
And you all fit up here, so.
So we will be adding 2 feet on each end to make it longer.
But I do think since we decided to give you comfortable chairs, that's why you guys lost your space then.
So he's adding 2 feet so you can still keep your comfy chairs.
And we're making Mary smaller.
I've gained 13 pounds since I retired.
Get two
Okay,
chairs
3
for
feet.
Jared.
Yeah.
Take the opposite armrest off. Wire
If
them
you want to
together.
sit on, we'll make that one a little bigger.
So are you starting any more fires out at the golf course or?
No, well, we will.
Okay,
I think we might tomorrow afternoon.
I knew nothing of this. I got a call from my son. And he was like, should I start clearing out the ground? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, there is a fire at the golf course.
Yep, they've been asking me for several years to burn the waterways,
They were bad.
and the rough, and in quite a few places, there's a lot of Canadian thistle that I've tried to spray it, and it's so thick you can't get a
Can't
good
knock it
spray
out.
on it. So what's that?
You can't knock it out.
There's just so much, and this will help, you know, if there's seed there and on the ground, the fire will sterilize it, and I'm sure there'll still be more there, but this will just make it easier to get in there and treat.
So where else are you gonna burn?
So we have another one by hole 1. That's just right beside the road, and then we have a more challenging one, farther to the south that, connects to a wheat field or 2 wheat fields with stubble on it,
But your fire trucks will be there.
oh yeah, yep, and we're gonna have experienced people and then some training for the new younger kids to, you know, run a truck and put tools together and do stuff like that, so it's gonna be some training too, so.
I thought I heard that the wind was gonna blow 40 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think so, unless they
That's
changed
the
it.
next day, I think.
Yeah, it's only supposed to 7 to 10.
Okay.
We're professionals, Jerry.
Okay,
Just a day behind.
all right, anything else?
Then we've been working on getting the sprinklers going, trying to get ahead of stuff before we get to the pool and everything. So we got sprinklers on the boulevard. I think you guys got all the sprinkler heads fixed today at the boulevard, so we got a few little things to work on at the park, but other than that, it's gonna get crazy.
Yes, that's for sure. It's that time of year, so, okay, thank you, Garrett. For the mayor's report, I did get appointed to the Pennington County Commissioner Alternate Energy Task Force. And we had our first meeting March 31st. There's about 10 people from around the county that were appointed to that. The goal of that is because the county commissioners put a solar wind project that was south of New Underwood, put a moratorium on that. The purpose of this is to come up with some guidance on how to move forward regarding solar and wind and data center projects. And the county is working with Black Hills, well, Jennifer Seatsma, the same person we use for a consultant, to get an ordinance in place that will address these. And then I think my recommendation would be we would take that ordinance and add that to ours so that we too have what conditions that you could put one of these in our vicinity or within our city limits, preferably the industrial park. So that's the purpose of that, and we've just met one time. We're gonna meet every other Monday. So I will continue to bring information back, but these projects impact school systems, so your zoning ordinances changes or provides opportunity for economic development. So there's a lot of pieces to it, so we'll just keep you updated as that moves along. Okay, that concludes my report for tonight. Is there any other items for discussion? But no discussion or no action will be taken. Any items for discussion for tonight?
I do. I don't know if anybody saw, but the Williams family got the South Dakota FFA Family of the Year, so I know quite a few people haven't seen it, but congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Any other items?
Houston's winning 3 points.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, the next city council meeting will be April 17th at 6:30. And we do need executive session back.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel issues according to SDCL 1-25-2. Parentheses 1.
Okay, Jerry has seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
My nieces.
thank you.
Now, and I hope you come back tomorrow. I get to stay, but it should feel here.
So thank you, Brandon, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. See you tomorrow. Okay, I am going to call us out of executive session. Does anyone have any other action that needs to be taken tonight at this meeting? Hearing and seeing none, I declare the meeting adjourned.